give us one moment to confirm that it's going. And then we can get started.
All right, we should be good to go.
All right, great. Thank you, Steve. Chair Massey.
Very good. Good afternoon. The December 10th, 2020 regular board meeting of the City Colleges of Chicago is now called to order. For the record, the state of Illinois continues to operate under a statewide disaster proclamation, first issued by Governor Pritzker on March 9th. Can you believe that? And reaffirmed on November 13th. I would like also to note that we continue to be subject to restrictions in the size and types of gatherings that are permissible under both the current phase of the state of Illinois' Restore Illinois program, as well as under Public Health Order number 2020-9, 6 amended and reissued by the Commissioner of Health of the City of Chicago. To date, we meet virtually to undertake certain actions necessary for the continued efficient operations of the district. Will the Assistant Secretary please call the roll?
Vice Chair Swanson.
Here.
Trustee Kent.
Here.
Trustee Tellman.
Present.
Trustee Williams.
Present.
Student Trustee Thomas.
Present.
And Chair Massey.
Here. Let the record show that in accordance with the Illinois Public Community College Act and the Illinois Open Meetings Act, we have a quorum. Welcome everyone.
And Chair Massey should note, Secretary Davis has just joined us as well.
Oh, welcome, Secretary Davis.
Thank
We
you.
now have a super quorum. Good afternoon to those viewing the meeting on YouTube and via Zoom. I hope everyone has made the best of our recent holiday and are looking forward to the new year with hope and motivation for the future. Before we begin today's meeting, I would like to take a few moments to express my concern for all that we've experienced and continue to experience regarding the coronavirus pandemic. At present, we're still dealing with the ramifications of the current pandemic. We continue to face challenges in our city and our nation with concerns for education, employment, safety, and the overall health of our families, friends, and neighbors. Although 2020 has been difficult in many ways, we are still here and we remain strong. We remain 7 strong in particular. I would like to acknowledge the Bank of America's Charitable Foundation's grant to City Colleges of Chicago to our foundation in the amount of $1 million. I would also like to thank Vice Chair Swanson and Trustee Williams for their taking the time out of their busy schedules to participate in the Olive Harvey Higher Learning Commission accreditation visit earlier in November. I'm also happy to acknowledge our new Inspector General, Lamisha Smith. Is she on, Ashley?
No, sir.
Okay. No, she's not. Well, we'll welcome her. We look forward to working with you. In the similar vein of the new transitions, I would like to extend the thanks of the board to Executive Chancellor and Chief of Staff, Eric Lugo. There he is, looking dapper as usual. Colleagues, Eric will be leaving us for a very important position. And Eric, we wish you the best of luck in that. And I'm sure you will be, I know you'll be doing important work. I certainly know the organization, and you'll still be working with us, right, in that new capacity. Thank you for all you've done for the district, and that really has been a lot. I've witnessed it. That Bank of America gift is in no small part due to Eric, frankly. In early January of next year, the board will be meeting for a retreat for the purpose of our board self-evaluation. This will be our 3rd time undertaking such a retreat. and I'm certainly looking forward to it. We always get quite a bit of important work done. I would also like to acknowledge and celebrate historian and activist Professor Emeritus of City College, Samuel Black, who celebrated his 102nd birthday on January 7th. That's just fantastic. I don't know how many of you know Samuel, but he's still remarkable, still strong voice, and just still so brilliant in his recollections of his history in Chicago. Congratulations to all our faculty, staff, and students as they near the end of another semester. All the best to students taking finals, and the board wishes everyone a safe and healthy, happy holiday season. Our next regular board meeting will be on February 4, 2021. Student trustee Thomas, would you proceed with your report?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Good
Sure.
afternoon, members of the board, college presidents, everyone participating and watching. I would like to acknowledge my home campus, Olive Harvey College, on hosting the HLC Hybrid Comprehensive Evaluation Site Visit for reaccreditation during the week of November 14th. Olive Harvey stellar administration, faculty, staff, and students highlighted the wonderful work that has been done to align with HLC's criteria. We are confident that the cohesive thoroughness of our campus and dedication to continuously improving, fulfilling, and sustaining the college mission was conveyed. Olive Harvey, congratulations and a job well done. November was a great month for our CCC student leaderships. The spirit of cheerful giving has been strongly present. Olive Harvey partnered with the Panther Pantry to facilitate the second annual Thanksgiving basket drive for the week of Thanksgiving. Olive Harvey students entered the drawing for a chance to win a Thanksgiving box. There were 40 winners in total, and a total of 36 baskets that were given to students to prepare for their Thanksgiving dinner. The students had the options for turkey, ham, or chicken. There were 16 turkeys given out, 16 hams, and 10 whole chickens. Students at SGA helped with the curbside pickup. Also in the month of November, students of Olive Harvey participated in a two-part series named Police, which is a discussion of society, reaction, response, and community relationships. Olive Harvey security officers and surrounding police officers in the community partook in this conversation with the students. A lot was resolved. Also, Wilbur Wright, they had their 10th annual Turkey Ball. The students showed their competitive nature by playing a series of Pictionary to obtain 3 top prizes: a Nintendo Switch for first place, Beats headphones for the second and third place. As students prepare for their finals, schools across the district have been creating constructive activities that will take their minds off the stress of the final push of the semester. Most campuses are calling it De-Stress Week, and that pretty much consists of Harold Washington. They held a virtual concert with Brian Quinn, who was a recent contestant on The Voice, with a brief question and answer after. They also have a holiday costume contest with multiple categories like best holiday pajamas, ugliest sweater, also the best costume for your pet. And the winners will be picked on December 11th. Olive Harvey has partnered with the Wellness Center to host a 3-part workshop from December 8th to December 10th to help the students alleviate from the stress of finals week. The first workshop will be called Positive Affirmation. The second workshop is called the Time Management, and the third installment was Mindfulness, Find Your Happy Place, which we all need to find. SGA plans to partner with OHC researchers to find common issues students face while remote learning and focus on trying to make the transition less stressful for the spring semester. Well, right there also having a Gingerbread house contest. Unfortunately, the deadline has passed for new entries. The winners will be announced on New Year's Day. They also have a study break bingo, and that was the first 3 Tuesdays of December to help push through the finals. They also had Pictionary with professors. Kennedy King, they're having a Secret Santa, and that ends. They will be drawing the names on Monday. They also have also been having a Kickback Friday, which is pretty much a virtual opportunity to vent, provide positive solutions, heal, and build community. And those were the first two Fridays in December. Malcolm X, they hosted a Classes in Conversation, and that pretty much constructed of give students advice for best classes, the most popular professors, and tips on how to navigate through the mycc.edu and how to manage being a student at home. As you all know, the SGA consists of the SGA presidents of each school. They have had their fair share of adjustments as well as we all have been trying to adapt to the new quote unquote norm. They have also been providing students with quality programming and service by having office hours in place, as well as having a portal and bright space for students to reach out to the student activity directors as well as the members of SGA. Although student leaders have enjoyed the excitement of planning events and watching their visions unfold within their very eyes, there have also been complications with these events that help them run smoothly. I've highlighted two of the most common issues that SGA endures while planning these events. The first one will be the process of purchasing and requisitions. There have been multiple instances where checks were late when the paperwork needed to start the process was turned in weeks, if not months in advance. We have to figure out a way to make this process a little bit more seamless. Also, the difficulty of finding a vendors list. DSJ was asking the board and the chancellor, is there a way we can get a categorized vendors list, either send it to the SA directors or somebody from the SGA? Because on multiple occasions, SGA officers have been blindly picking different vendors because the initial vendor they wanted was not a CCC authorized vendor. And by the time the vendor application is complete for the potential vendor, it is too late for them to have the event. That is the end of my report.
Chair Massey, you are on mute, sir.
I'm sure the chancellor and others will be able to help you guys out on those issues you're confronting. Chancellor Salgado, your remarks.
Yes. Thank you, Chair Massey, and good afternoon to everybody. We are in the last days of our fall semester and nearing the end of 2020, a year where we have individually and collectively experienced a wide range of emotions, including anxiety, fear, anger, and sadness. A year in where many lives were lost, and we remember all of those people on this day today. I want to spend a little time this morning just expressing deep gratitude to every member of the City College's community for all the contributions during this year. Gratitude to our staff, gratitude to our faculty, gratitude to our students, gratitude to our trustees and supporters. We've really come together, supported each other, responded to the challenges as they presented themselves, and supported our students in every way we could. And we'll continue to do whatever is necessary to improve as an institution and do better every day, more than we did the day before. In the midst of this pandemic, we have also been planning for the future to ensure we are positioned to propel our students to their desired dreams and aspirations. I'm pleased to say that today we are releasing our 5-year strategic framework and college strategic plans. I want to thank all those who have contributed their time and ideas to develop these plans. A special thank you to our Chief Strategy Officer, Veronica Guerrero, who worked with me to envision the framework, structure this project, and engage the colleges in the plan creation. To Provost Mark Potter and the district team for your support in every way. To the college presidents in particular, and the faculty, staff, and students who led or were engaged in these conversations, made important decisions, and came up with creative ideas to move our institution forward. I really want to thank you. This is an approach, Chair Massey and trustees, that empowered each of our colleges to design their own paths forward, leading to a single common vision that city colleges be our city's most accessible higher education economic engine of social, economic mobility, and racial equity. To achieve this vision, we articulated a common framework from from the momentum and achievements in the early years of this administration, and building upon critical work outlined in our strategic enrollment and racial equity plans. This framework reflects what we have heard from our students, employees, and communities about where we'd like to go and where we still have important work to do. I want to stress that this work is the embodiment of an institution that finds its strength in a unified vision and values. And as Chair Massey said earlier, being 7 strong. As you look at our plans, you'll find that City College's students are at the heart of them, as they are at the heart of our institution. We know that a caring, welcoming environment is key to their success, and we are deeply committed to creating an exceptional student experience from pre-admissions to completion. You'll see in this document a commitment to achieving equity in student outcomes, our dedication to fostering a culture of excellence, our determination to address the economic needs of our city, and our obligation to build a collaborative ecosystem that holds the success of our students at the center. We will do these things while we improve the health of our institution, positioning us to grow and sustain an exceptional City Colleges of Chicago for the future. We realize that the long-term effects of COVID-19 on community college enrollment and student success are uncertain to us all. What is for certain is that COVID-19 will have an impact throughout the life of this plan. Despite that, through these plans, we aim to provide City Colleges and our students strength to weather these challenges that surround us and come out so much stronger. And so you will hear more about the strategic plan from Veronica Guerrero in the district updates, and our college presidents are available as well to help answer any questions. But today, we will also have for consideration several agreements that will help us to serve our students, better serve our students, and create a more seamless student experience for all of our students. Today, the board will vote on a CRM system and a comprehensive rebranding effort, both of which are part of our strategic effort to bolster enrollment. They will help us live up to our promise as an open access institution that ensures any student can come to us and pursue their academic and career goals. I really want to thank the IT team, the marketing, academic affairs, and procurement teams that were deeply involved in bringing these projects to fruition. Finally, as Chair Massey has made known, and you might see in our personnel report, we will shortly be saying goodbye to Eric Lugo, who has served as my chief of staff for the last 2 years and as executive vice chancellor for institutional advancement for the year since I began, about 3.5 years ago. I can't say enough about Eric's leadership and partnership. He's been a trusted counsel and has moved this institution forward in very significant ways. I want to highlight a few of those ways. As you heard from Chair Massey about the Bank of America contribution to our institution, $1 million contribution over several years that is meaningful. I want to thank Bank of America. I want to thank Chair Massey for his leadership in bringing that relationship to us. But I also want to point out that when we began our journey 3.5 years ago with Eric leading advancement, the fundraising in this institution was at $1 million in FY17. This last fiscal year, we were able to raise more than $7 million, a pretty good amount of growth, and we continue to work hard in that regard. He's also helped us to connect employers to our institution, grow that apprenticeship network and work-based learning opportunities that we will be building upon, and leveraged our continuing education programs, which if you look at our continuing education enrollment, that has been growing and we expect it to continue to grow in the years to come, and has really cemented a technology strategy for City Colleges, which I know his familiarity with that technology strategy will serve him and the district well in his new endeavors, along with the important oversight over marketing and some of the marketing improvements that you'll see in the coming months have really been helped by his leadership. So again, I want to thank you, Eric, for your work with us. I also want to make everyone aware that with Eric's departure, I have asked Veronica Guerrero to expand her role to serve as Chief of Strategy and Staff. You heard earlier about Veronica's work on the development of our strategic framework and plans. She's been a great asset to this organization since coming to CCC from our partner 1 Million Degrees, where she developed a deep understanding of our students' needs. She also has some very important leadership roles in higher education, including being vice chair of the Illinois Board of Higher Education and a board member of Northern Illinois University, which gives her great insight into the needs of governance and university partnership. And like Eric, she too is proven to be a big thinker who delivers ambitious and innovative initiatives, for our students. And so as we look forward to our strategic plans, she'll be at the center of ensuring execution of those plans. Again, today, I want to share my deepest gratitude and thanks. I hope that as finals wind down and as the holidays in 2020 come to full fruition, everybody has a safe and joyful holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor. It is now time for public participation. There's one request for public participation today. For our public speaker, a clock will appear on the screen that will show your allotted time. Once the clock reaches 3 minutes, if you have not concluded your remarks, you will be asked to bring your remarks to a close, and we will then proceed with our agenda. We appreciate your understanding and assistance. Assistant Secretary, please proceed.
Thank you, Chair Massey. This month we have one registered public speaker. A clock will appear on the screen and will begin once you begin speaking. And as the clock approaches 3 minutes, please plan to bring your remarks to a close, and you'll be prompted at the 3-minute mark to conclude your remarks. So Mr. George Robanis, if you can unmute yourself. Mr. Robanis, if you can unmute.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, and you may begin.
Thank you very much. Dr. Macy, Chancellor Salgado, esteemed members of the board, college presidents, I hope you're well, and I hope the people you care for in your life are well as well. My name is George Rubanes. I'm the president of the Adult Education faculty. If you don't mind, I would like to take you for a short trip back in time in the early 80s. One morning, I found myself at 6 o'clock sharp in front of Truman College, trying to enroll in the ESL classes. The kind people at the door, through the magic that sometimes the folks who work at city colleges are able to operate, were able to explain to somebody who didn't speak English that in America you don't have to wait 3 hours in line. I can come back at 9 o'clock and they will enroll me. So I started learning English in the basement of Truman College. My teachers assured me that their class, and indeed America, is a place where everyone has something to give. Since then, I have carried their passion and values of fairness, justice, opportunity, kindness, and hard work in my heart and in my career. I like to think, and I truly hope, that you are here for similar reasons. I'm asking you on behalf of our adult education faculty and our students to reverse the administration policies and practices that are drastically reducing enrollment, including stop dismissing students that need to repeat a class more than 4 times. Students who are most likely to need to repeat a class face great challenges, such as discrimination, violence, housing instability, and many of them are people with disabilities. They are the people most hurt by this policy. Choosing this pandemic as the time to start enforcing a long-ignored and self-defeating policy is direct negation of lifelong learning for diverse learners. Stop narrowly measuring success of students and effectiveness of adult education teachers. The adult education department, students and teachers, represent this rich and complex mosaic that is America's promise. People who have an opportunity to continue to learn are able to help their community and our nation to become a better, secure, and prosperous place for all and the future generations. Recommit City Colleges to its historical mission, consistent with Chancellor Juan Salgado's promise to make adult education accessible to all.
Mr. Roman,
Recognize that the
close.
pandemic calls for collaboration with our faculty and students in new and more flexible strategies that
Mr. Roman,
promote holistic health, education, and
Mr. Vice,
workforce
please bring your
development.
mic close.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Massey. That concludes this month's public participation.
Thank you very much, Speaker. We will now move on to our district updates. CFO Rodriguez and our external auditors, RSM, have prepared a video presentation or presentations on the finance update and the annual audit, respectively. While there will be no formal presentations on these topics during today's meeting, the presentations are posted on today's event page of our website. And they will also be posted along with the board the board reports from today's meeting on the board website. On the CFO Rodriguez, thank your team and the team from RSM for their important work. Today, we will be hearing, as Chancellor Salgado said, from Chief Strategy Officer Guerrero, who will give a brief overview on the strategic plans and then facilitate a time of Q&A. I will note that the trustees have all been briefed on this topic over the last week, and I appreciate the time that Vice Chancellor Guerrero and her staff put in on this and the time the trustees devoted to this. CSO Guerrero, please proceed.
Hello, good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to just thank Chair Massey, the trustees, and Chancellor Salgado for giving me the opportunity to really be your partner in designing and facilitating this incredibly important work over the past year. And thank you to the presidents and their teams for allowing me also to be their partner in the development of their plans. I am thrilled to share that our strategic framework and college plans are now available to the public for viewing on our microsite. That URL is ccc.edu/strategic plan. We welcome you to visit our microsite to explore all the elements of our framework, which include our unifying vision and goals, strategic levers, core values, and KPIs. You'll also be able to view and download all 7 college strategic plans and our unified strategic initiatives from the site. There are several videos for you to watch on the microsite, including one where I provide an overview of the strategic framework and planning process. And before we jump into the Q&A part, I'd like to just highlight a couple of points about our planning and implementation approach. The first point I'll highlight is that really this planning process was powered by collaboration and inclusion. As you've heard from the Chancellor, we steered away from developing a single district plan and instead took an approach that embodied what is now the theme of this work, our path forward, one vision, 7 strong. And this approach lent itself to collaboration and inclusion throughout all of the phases of our framework and strategy development. The framework itself represents the voices of many. It represents months of conversations that included diverse perspectives on success at CCC, our assets, challenges, and what it would take to achieve that success. It represents what we know about our students and how they are experiencing the City Colleges of Chicago and what they need from us to be successful. Colleges assembled planning teams and discussions that included students, faculty, staff, and community members. The district office team partnered with college strategy teams to provide thought partnership feedback and to ensure alignment with system-wide efforts. And college teams also helped shape and provide feedback on the unified strategic initiatives. This approach has resulted in collective ownership of our unifying vision and goals and puts us on solid footing as we implement our plans, which leads me to my second point, and that's about the importance of ensuring that these plans remain living and breathing plans. We will implement these plans using our core values as our guide. We'll challenge ourselves throughout the life of these plans to embrace a growth mindset and create a culture that strives to be excellent for our students and institutional health. As a system, we will be collectively participating in checkpoints throughout the year to review our progress and accelerate or problem solve where necessary. This effectively gives us all the room to be resilient and nimble. And with that, I will open it up to questions from our trustees.
Please, trustees. I'll start, Veronica. So maybe you can, first of all, at least in a briefing I had with Trustee Williams, as I said at that time, I'm very impressed with the entire process as well as the substance. But as Trustee Williams mentioned in our briefing, this is very impressive, but things are so uncertain. They have been up to, even since you started this, a lot of the externalities have changed. Just say a word about how you see this plan being adaptable and nimble and resilient enough to take into account sort of unexpected, unanticipated changes over the next 2 or 3 years.
Sure, thank you for that question. The KPI targets, the framework, and all of the strategies, they were drafted in 2019 and the first quarter of 2020. So this was pre-pandemic. And then the second quarter of this year, we all really had to take a moment to reflect on the relevancy and the strength of the framework and the strategies that we had developed up until that point. And so we really stopped to think about it. Like, is this work going to get us through these challenging times? And the answer was clearly a big yes, right? That it was the right framework to get us through these times, but also to help us come out even stronger. And we don't have control over the macro level impact that the pandemic and the future will have, and will continue to have on higher ed and our students. But what we can be intentional about is about how we learn and how we reflect throughout the life of this plan, and our ability to remain laser focused on our students. And we've developed a whole cycle of check-ins and review and accountability and reflection and continuous improvement throughout the year to ensure that we are nimble and continue to be resilient.
Thank you.
I didn't have a question per se. It was more or less a statement about to address the equality aspect of the strategic plan. I have worked with the DSGA to hear concerns of students from each campus. Consistently, equality has been a topic of discussion. Students from the South Side campuses have expressed their concerns about the quality of instruction and resources that have drastically varied from other campuses. The complaint has been that online class interaction and engagement, virtual office hour availability, offer of tutoring subjects outside of the core study, email times responsiveness, and overall class experiences does not provide confidence to students that are trying to transition to the 4-year level. It is recommended that funding I understand that funding varies from the 7 colleges and is based on several things, enrollment being one of the main factors. However, the deficit needs to be discussed and addressed by district and campus administrations and other stakeholders that can change the course of this issue. I am aware that committees are set in place to address the equality per campus and the overall CCC network. But DSGA and myself are willing to work with you and address to help eliminate these problems for future endeavors.
I would like to give Provost Potter the opportunity to address your comment. And just one thing I'll add, I shared this with you as well, is one thing we know is that student input is critical to the success of our plans. And you'll find in our unified strategic initiatives, our efforts to capture the student input in a more systematic way and more frequently, because it will be really important to the execution of our plans. Provost Potter?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the comment as well, and in that spirit of the offer of SGA and DSGA to be part of problem solving and creative solution. I've been able to join the Chancellor in some recent conversations with local college SGAs. We're going to continue that process, and that's really important input that we're getting from our SGAs, and so I really welcome that dialogue. And I also share your interest and concerns around quality. That is not to say that necessarily I'm calling out deficits. I'm certainly not, but I want to reiterate that we can always do better, and continuous improvement is an important part of this plan, the college plans and the district framework. There are a number of areas in the district framework where we are calling out professional development as a strategy, and we're going to be developing a rigorous district-wide program for professional development to address some of the concerns that you've pointed to, but really to lift up faculty across the district to engage students effectively. We're already doing some of this work, but we're going to continue to invest and be more intentional in this work going forward.
Thank you, Provost Potter. Another question?
Yeah, I have a question. Really just to hear a little bit more around the process. I know Chair Massey mentioned that, and it's one of the things I was really impressed with in the briefing. So if you could just put a little more color on that of just, the district, obviously, you all came up with sort of the North Star vision, but it really felt fueled by each individual president and team and college. And so if you could just talk a little bit more about that, or maybe it's how you engage stakeholders or wherever you want to take it, but I just think the process was so impressive.
Thank you, Vice Chair Swanson. I'd love to give the opportunity to one of our college presidents to answer that. If maybe President Thomas, would you like to chime in with how you engaged your faculty and staff?
Of course. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to this. It went for several months. We formulated a strategic planning committee for Kennedy King College, a very inclusive model. We've heard that term quite a bit. We wanted to make sure that we had the voices of faculty, staff, administration, community leaders, and also our corporate industrial partners as well, but most importantly, students. So they were engaged, the entire collective body of stakeholders through this journey from day one to the conclusion of the process, which also spoke to the development of our mission statement as well. The college is really excited about this. This was the first time they've had an opportunity to engage in such a process, to actually lay claim to putting a footprint on this important document on behalf of the college and the community. So again, they were really excited about having the opportunity to be inclusive in this process and to have a voice in this process.
Yeah, I thought the strategic plan was well done, and I particularly like the focus on the student and the student experience. I think that's the best thing that we can do in order to foster learning at the colleges. So I appreciate all the focus on that. And my only question is, with that focus on the students, I'm wondering what we're going to do as a district, from the top to help move the culture so that it's truly focused on the student, as we've laid out in the strategic plan. So I don't know if maybe Chancellor, maybe you could speak to that, but I think it will require a culture shift to a certain extent.
I'm happy to address some of it, Trustee Tillman, and to have some of the presidents chime in too. But I think you're right to the culture and improving the culture is really it has a great importance at the top, but also from the bottom up, right? And you really have to do both. And I will tell you, within the body that is leading the institution, we are taking great efforts to ensure that we are aligned, that we are making the requisite investments in the forums that need to be created, to share out best practices, to share out knowledge. There is so much good happening in the district already. The challenge that we often face is to make sure that we are taking full advantage. That's what 7 Strong is about, right? Let's take advantage, full advantage of every positive thing that's occurring in the institution. And then how do you grow that across the institution in a way that's rapid and reaches your students, right? And so we've created some forums already for that, following this inclusive approach. And so if you look at a regular Chancellor's Leadership Forum that I host, the Developmental Education Committee and its annual goals and annual revisiting of those goals and improving on that work. When you look at how the presidents are working together in President's Council and iterating on their best practices. Just recently, we had Truman College share their efforts with a Caring Campus initiative that many of our other campuses are looking at to build upon. And so, this is just to give you a little bit of example of, the work we're doing to ensure that we not only have best practices, but we share best practices, that we grow best practices, and that we accelerate the execution of those best practices in a way that reaches students. And that I'm sharing at the top level, but that has to be happening among faculty, among advisors, among admissions. It needs to be happening across the institution. That's the work that we're doing. That's why the theme is not just a theme. I want to make sure to iterate this. That theme has deep meaning. 7 Strong is our path forward. It's our students' path to propel them forward. And that's why there's so much riding on this 7 Strong approach, which I think by itself, Trustee Tillman, is institutional change. The mindset that comes with us being a caring community inside each colleges, across all colleges, and within the entire district is something transformational for us.
Well said. I always love your passion, Chancellor.
And Trustee Tillman, also just to add further, there's some inherited built-in accountability with the performance measures and the strategic objectives of the plan. So The performance measures will also be evaluated and accounted for each college.
Thank you, President Thomas.
I was just going to comment on that these KPIs certainly have to, and they do, contain student satisfaction measures. Okay, who else?
Just a question. Each college has a set of tactics that are expected to be employed to execute the respective components of the strategic plan. Have there been individuals tasked specifically to those tactics already, or is that yet to be done?
President Hollingsworth, would you like to answer that?
Yeah, so that was really a built-in process as part of the plan. So as we developed our levers and our goals and our strategies, we were really conscious and intentional about ensuring that not only did we have the strategies outlined, but the people and the requisite resources that were going to be needed to ensure that we could meet our goals. So yes, that's not something that's going to happen after the fact. Although our plans are iterative and subject to change, we have delegated specific people and resources to ensure that those strategies are seen through.
Great, thank you.
And I think, I'm not sure if we have time for one more question, but I think we're running.
Do one more.
One more. Okay, great.
Did President Jackson, you had your hand up?
Yes, thank you, Chair Massey. I just wanted to add to my colleague, the ownership was built into the process. And I think it's what made it so powerful is the strategies came from our individual colleges. It forced us to speak the same language, but also across the college, no matter where you sat in the organization, you began to develop ownership over this student experience. And so we had custodians talking about how we could better service students and having the opportunity to provide feedback when they have never had that opportunity before. So we have these KPIs, but really what we captured in this process was ownership. And ownership is what's going to make these plans sustainable.
Accountability, yeah.
Good place to end up. Well, this was very good, very instructive. Thank you so much again, Chief Strategy Officer, soon to be Chief of Staff. Guerrero. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chair Massey. And just one thing I'll say is there will be an opportunity to ask more questions and to engage. We will be rolling out this plan externally starting at the beginning of next year, and more information, more details to come on that. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. We will now move on to Professor Spira and the Faculty Council report. Professor Spira, please proceed.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Chairperson Massey, Board of Trustees, Chancellor Salgado, Provost Potter, officers of the district, faculty, staff, and all others streaming, good afternoon. Before my speech, I just also want to thank CSO Guerrero. We've had a great relationship, particularly recently, in working with strategic initiatives and involving FC4. So I didn't write it into my speech, but we so appreciate the way that you've kept us informed about all of the different activities surrounding strategic initiatives. When you came in, it was a lot of disparate items, and you did a magnificent job of pulling them into something that's really cohesive. So we thank you, and we look forward to engaging with you further and seeing how the faculty can help to continue to drive that mission. Thank you so much for that. So I'd like to begin by clarifying a few items that I mentioned in November's board report. First, for our students' mental well-being, particularly in times like these, is at the forefront of all of our minds. I can't be sure if anyone misinterpreted what I was saying and asking for when I asked for similar programming for our students as to what we will deliver to Chicago Public Police Department as part of the consent decree. I was not suggesting that we are lacking in services. The District Director of Specialized Student Services, Donnell Barrett, has been doing a wonderful job, and there's some really great programming that's coordinated through his office. We look forward to meeting with him in January for updates on the work and our progress towards compliance with the Mental Health Early Action on Campus Act. What we were asking for is similar to what the curriculum for CPD aims to do, to offer and destigmatize mental health services. We have wellness centers, but our students could make better use of those services if we had a real campaign to destigmatize the utilization of mental health care services. The other item I wish to address is the Chancellor's extending this programming to our students, staff, and faculty. At the time of the last board report, I was unaware of that decision and couldn't speak adequately to the magnitude of such a decision. I just want to take a moment to thank the Chancellor for his consideration of this issue and decision to widen the reach of these services. In my time teaching within Cook County Jail, one thing became apparent. Most of my students there were there because of mental health issues that had either been never addressed or where treatment had lapsed. I imagine some percentage of detainees may have never crossed through those doors if they had access to mental health treatment and weren't afraid of the stigma attached to getting treatment, which still exists in many communities, communities of color, and more specifically, the ways in which our societal definitions of masculinity exclude men living with mental illness. Our classrooms are filled with individuals who are one traumatic event away from their mental and emotional breaking points. Brain science has also suggested that many of our students coming right out of high schools, prefrontal cortexes haven't developed to where they're consistently making decisions based on reason and not impulse, nor have they developed the capacity to process the long-term consequences of their decisions. Again, this is even more pronounced within men. So choosing to prioritize this issue is significant. Not only is this the right thing to do, but it is in alignment with the equity work in which we are already engaged. Again, thank you, Chancellor Salgado, and we look forward to your ideas on how we offer something comparable, but more specific to the needs of our students. This really means a lot. FC4 STAND is moving along well with our district administrative partners. The Learning Agenda Committee has met once to rethink how we prioritize and socialize institutional research projects. This is extremely important and worthwhile work, and we are glad to see the revival of this committee. We were unable to meet with SGA leadership this month, but look forward to maintaining a more consistent relationship with them in the upcoming academic year and moving forward. Our early college committee has planned monthly meetings for the upcoming year to continue to have input and help to keep the early college work going. Thank you, Siobhan Taylor and Peggy Corellis, for your willingness to collaborate with us and keeping the faculty perspective in mind when meeting with our high school partners. The ability to maintain academic standards and rigor is paramount, and these collaborations make it possible. Finally, we had the opportunity to meet with Chancellor Salgado in November to think about vision and strategy. This was a good place to continue open dialogue about the world in which we live, the political climate, student needs, and how those things interface with our leadership's vision for our institution and our other strategic plans. We look forward to continuing this relationship and choosing some areas of focus for future conversations. We can't stress enough the value of these conversations in which we can ideate together. That will be, as it has always been, the key to maintaining non-confrontational relationships in which we can confront difficult issues and continue to work in the best interest of our students, even in times of disagreement. In those times, consistency, transparency, and a willingness to listen is what we have to rely upon, both from our administrators and faculty. Our meeting was a good reopening of that door, and I imagine if we hold to being consistent, transparent, and willing to listen, we can't fail. It has been a year for the books. With vaccines on the horizon, it is my hope that we can make the best of this holiday season, stay safe, and that we'll be able to meet in person again at some point in the new year. Thank you so much, and this concludes my report.
Thank you. Year for the books indeed. I hope you're writing one about it. Thank you very much, Professor Spira. We will now proceed to review the items on the December 10th regular board meeting consent agenda. This month, all items for board action are on the consent agenda. The substantive details have been posted on our board website, which is consistent with our practice. So Assistant Secretary Kang, please proceed with the review of the remaining board reports.
Thank you, Chair Massey. For our presenters, please proceed one after the other, briefly pausing to give the trustees an opportunity to ask any questions that they might have about the item being presented. I will read the names of the presenters for each section, and then we'll proceed with each section review. So for resolution, CFO Rodriguez will review resolutions 1.00 and 1.01. Provost Potter will review resolutions 1.02 and 1.03. CIO Martin will review resolution 1.04, followed by President Thomas's review of resolutions 1.05 and 1.06. President Janowski will review resolution 1.07. President Jackson will review resolution 1.08, and General Counsel Gowan will review resolutions 1.09 and 1.10. CFO Rodriguez, please proceed.
Good afternoon, everyone. Resolution 1.00. This is for the approval of our annual property tax levy. The amount of the levy was approved as part of our FY 2021 annual budget and has not changed. It includes an increase to the property tax cap as well as new properties. Subsequent to approval, we will file with the county clerks of the County of Cook and DuPage. Resolution 1.01 is for the approval of the CCC FY 2020 external audit, which was completed on November 30th, 2020. The audit is required to be completed by December 15 per the ICCB. We received a clean opinion on our financial statements. After approval by this board, we will file with the City of Chicago and ICCB.
Resolution 1.02 seeks board authorization for a collaboration agreement and shared facilities use license agreement with 1 Million Degrees. The OMD model has been shown through rigorous evaluation to be highly effective in supporting student enrollment, persistence, and completion. This agreement will extend the partnership with OMD through June 30th, 2023, and allow for coordinated and data-driven holistic student supports and services to continue. Resolution 1.03 is for approval of new programs that include the Basic Certificate, Advanced Certificate, and Associates in Applied Science in Networking Systems and Technologies at Kennedy King College and Olive Harvey College. This stackable credential is already board approved and being offered at Daly, Truman, and Wright colleges. And this is yet another example of how CCC has successfully organized for responsiveness with the tech sector, where we pulled IT out of any one single college's center of excellence and provided support to all colleges to build IT programs that are relevant to their strategic goals.
Resolution 104 is to rescind Board Report 34038 that was adopted August 6, 2020 as a decision has been made to have these services covered by a resolution be subject to a request for proposal process.
Resolution 1.05 speaks to the adoption of the proposed Kennedy King College mission statement that I spoke to a moment ago. And resolution 1.06 speaks to the ratification and authorization of radio support service for WKKC radio. And this is the streaming service that the radio station utilizes.
1.07 is a resolution requesting adoption of a new updated Richard J. Daley College mission statement. The Richard J. Daley College community, through a shared governing process, has reflected on our mission and has authored a revised mission statement and accompanying core values that communicates our guiding principles as an institution of higher education in a contemporary society.
Resolution 1.08 is requesting an amendment to a current IGA to include additional funds in the amount of $233,000 from the Chicago Department of Family and Support Services to support the Chicago Early Learning Workforce Scholarship. The Chicago Early Learning Workforce Scholarship aims to support the current and future early childhood workforce in the city of Chicago by offering students, awardees, coverage of tuition and book costs, as well as specialized scholarship and early learning advising.
Resolution 1.09 requests authorization for the General Counsel to enter into a settlement agreement with Local 3506, the terms of which were previously discussed with the board. and to authorize the chair or his designee to execute such settlement agreement. Resolution 1.10 requests that the board adopts and amends the temporary telework policy concerning the COVID-19 pandemic, substantially in the form provided to the board for review. That the board adopt and amends the temporary sick leave policy concerning the COVID-19 pandemic, substantially in the form for review. And that the board also authorizes the chancellor, upon receiving the prior approval of the chair and the vice chair, to approve temporary policies that revise or replace the reference policies, provided that such temporary policies shall terminate upon the earlier of May 31, 2021, or revocation of the board, by the board.
Thank you. If there are no questions, CTO Dunning, item 2.00, the personnel report, please.
Board item 2.0 is a request to approve the December 2020 personnel report. There are 52 actions on this month's report. They include 12 new and rehires, 26 promotions, title and salary changes, and 14 separations and retirement. This concludes your report.
Thank you. Chief of Staff Lugo, item 3.00, the resource development report, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. This month's resource development report includes grants received in the amount of $6,687,920 and new grants submitted in the amount of $22,790,673. This month's highlights include a new grant from the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority that provides support for victims of multiple violent crimes to help them receive information, referrals, personal advocacy, emotional support, and other mental health services and emergency assistance. This work was led up by our district director, Donnell Barrett, and we're really proud to receive this grant. I'm also pleased to share that 4 of our colleges were renewed for the Workforce Equity Initiative grants that come via the Illinois Community College Board. And equally glad to share that Daly College this year is a new recipient of the WEI grant. So we've expanded some of our impact there. Our grant submissions include new initiatives supporting programs including racial healing, technology, workforce development, and student success programming, among other items. And that concludes this month's resource development report.
Thank you. If there are no questions, we'll move on to agreements. ABC Anthony will review agreements 4.00 and 4.01. Provost Potter will review agreement 4.02. CIO Martin will report on agreements 4.03 through 4.06. VC Diley will review agreement 4.07, followed by Chief of Staff Lugo's review of agreement 4.08. And CTO Dunning will conclude with the agreement section with agreements 4.09 through 4.14. So ABC Anthony, please.
Thank you. Item 4.00 is approval of a fixed price agreement with Constellation New Energy to procure electricity for the period beginning December 1, 2020 through January 31, 2021 at an estimated annual cost of $1,974,115 for the supply of the commodity based on a locked-in rate of 3.558 cents per kilowatt hour and the district's estimated usage for all facilities district-wide. The Office of Administrative Services closely tracks supply pricing and determined in collaboration with the CFO that low pricing made it an opportune time to lock in the supply rate. The new locked-in rate is within 1/10 of 1 cent per kilowatt hour of previous locked-in rate and provides a level of budget certainty, protecting against potential future rate spikes. Agreement 4.01 requests the board's authority to exercise the final option to renew agreements with Lakeshore Recycling Systems and Republic Services to provide scavenger services to all City Colleges of Chicago facilities for the period of January 1, 2021 through December 31, 2022 for a total cost not to exceed $500,000 for the renewal term. Lakeshore Recycling Systems and Republic Services will provide scavenger services for the collection, processing, and disposal of solid waste and recyclable materials from all City Colleges facilities.
Agreement 4.02 authorizes execution of an agreement with Blackboard to provide Blackboard Ally, a tool that aids in ensuring ADA compliance of instructional materials that are uploaded to our learning management system. Ally will support faculty as they upload content, flag materials that are not ADA compliant, and provide options for resolving the issues. Ally is also a tool that we can use to audit materials across the institution to ensure greater levels of compliance. The agreement will extend through December 31st, 2021 at a total cost not to exceed $70,000, and one option to renew will remain after this first one-year term.
4.03 is requesting authorization to execute agreement with Target X and Servio. Target X and Servio will implement a CRM solution at CCC. This solution provides CCC with a CRM platform that comes with an application assistant on top of the Salesforce platform that's already configured and optimized for higher ed. This solution has the ability to manage the entire student lifecycle. Target X will utilize its reseller to provide Salesforce licenses as well as the recruitment and enrollment suite for a period no sooner than January 15, 2021 through January 14, 2026 at a cost not to exceed $3,207,000. Serio will provide the implementation integration services for a period no sooner starting January 15, 2021 through January 14, 2026 at a cost not to exceed $575,000. 404 is authorization to execute with Zergo Technologies, who provide CCC's data warehouse and business intelligence platforms, enabling standardization, analysis to make more informed business decisions and create a workable plans and strategy. The terms of the agreement for this period is January 1st, 2021 through July 31st, 2023 at a cost not to exceed $551,600. 405 is a request to amend an agreement with Communications Products Inc., CPI, and reassign the contract to CPI Solutions, LLC. CPI Solutions, LLC provides licensing, hosting, support for online solutions, including the outbound call campaign manager, student feedback systems, online cross-channel contact systems, and the OIT help desk. Terms of the agreement is for a period of March 16, 2020 through March 15, 2022, an additional $44,000 at a cost not to exceed $321,000.
Agreement 4.07 is for the author.
I'm sorry, we get one more.
Sorry, go ahead, Gerald.
No problem. 4.06 is a request authorization execution agreement with MIT Equity. MIT Equity is a reseller for licensing and use of Zoom video communications, online meeting platforms, and collaboration tools. The terms of the agreement is for a period of July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2022 for a total cost not to exceed $225,500 for the contract term.
Okay, we'll try that one more time. Agreement 4.07 is for the authorization of funds to move ahead an agreement with the WBE marketing agency and Chicago firm, Simple Truth, and their partnering firms, MBE digital printing firm Sunrise High Tech, WBE research firm CNR Research, MBE talent firm Vitamin T Aquint. Together, these firms will facilitate the strategic rebranding of CCC to begin January 2021. An extensive RFP process with diverse representation has been conducted through procurement involving a public notice with multiple diverse bidders. The authorized funds will be used to support the rebranding, which will be completed in the 3 phases of research, strategy, and creative development. We are requesting the board to authorize an amount not to exceed $679,500 to move ahead rebranding with Simple Truth and their partners. The term of this purchase shall commence no sooner than January 1, 2021, and will continue no later than December 31st, 2023, with 2 additional 1-year options to renew periods.
Agreement 4.08 authorizes the execution of an agreement with the Woods Fund Chicago, serving as fiscal agent for the nonprofit organization Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation Greater Chicago. Costs associated with this agreement are to support curriculum development, materials, course facilitation, and program management, as well as stipends to students who will co-facilitate Healing Circle sessions upon completion of the continuing education course. The period of this agreement is from January 1, 2021 through December 31st, 2021.
Item 4.09 requests the board's approval related to our agreement with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois for the HMO medical plan for the period from January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2023, with 2 options to renew for 1 year each at a total cost not to exceed $16 million annually. Blue Cross Blue Shield provides fully insured services where the costs include claims and administrative fees for eligible active and retired employees of city colleges that are covered under the HMO. This agreement is stemming from an RFP and joint purchasing agreement with the City of Chicago and its sister agencies that took place in 2019-2020. Item 4.10 requests the board's approval related to 2 agreements for our PPO medical plan. The first agreement is with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois for the period from January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2023, with 2 options to renew for 1 year each at a total cost not to exceed $1 million annually. Blue Cross Blue Shield provides self-insured claims administration services for eligible active and retired employees of city colleges that are covered under the PPO. The total cost of this agreement does not include the actual claims submitted to Blue Cross Blue Shield by employees and paid by city colleges. The second agreement is a 3-way agreement between city colleges, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, and Sapphire Digital for the period from January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021, with 4 options to renew for 1 year each. Sapphire provides administrative services for their member rewards program called Health Advocacy Solutions that gives participants the ability to earn rewards resulting from actions that reduce claims costs to city colleges. This program is run transparently through Blue Cross Blue Shield PPO Group Medical Plan. The agreement is stemming from an RFP and joint purchasing agreement with the City of Chicago and its sister agencies that took place in 2019 and 2020. Item 4.11 requests the board approval related to our agreement with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois to provide administrative services for the City Colleges of Chicago's Self-Insured Group Dental Plan for eligible full-time active and retired employees for the period commencing January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021, at a total cost not to exceed $120,000 annually. The total cost of this agreement does not include the actual claims submitted to Blue Cross Blue Shield by employees and paid by city colleges. The agreement is stemming from a joint purchasing agreement with the City of Chicago. Item 4.12 requests the board's approval related to our agreement with Vision Service Plan to provide administrative services for the City Colleges of Chicago's Self-Insured Group Vision Plan for eligible full-time active and retired employees for the period commencing January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021 at a total cost not to exceed $85,000. The total cost of this agreement does not include the actual claims submitted to VSP by employees and paid by city colleges. The agreement is stemming from a joint purchasing agreement with the Chicago Park District. Item 4.13 requests the board's approval to amend our agreement with Milliman Inc. to provide additional actuarial services for a period beginning October 2nd, 2020 through June 3rd, 2024, with 2 options to renew for 1 year each at a total cost not to exceed $24,000 for the contract term. Milliman will provide additional actuarial services to the district to assist with the retirement drug subsidy program retroactively for past years that were not completed. These subsidies have earned city colleges up to $500,000 annually. And last, item 4.14 requests the board's approval to execute an agreement with TSA Consulting Group to provide administrative services for the City Colleges of Chicago's 403B and 457B investment plans. TSA coordinates and assists with the multiple investment vendors that are options for our employees. This contract will be a one-year term from January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021, and will not exceed $15,000 annually. Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no questions on agreements, we'll move on to purchases. ABC Anthony will report on purchases 5.00 and 5.01, 5.02. Provost Potter will report on purchase 5.03, followed by VC Diley's review purchase 5.04, and President Hollingsworth review of purchase 5.05. ABC Anthony.
Purchase 5.00 requests the board's authority for the monthly job order contractor construction projects performed by the listed contractors. Board reports 33312 and 34029 authorize the utilization of JOC as a construction delivery method to perform renovation services, deferred maintenance, and repairs. This month's report lists one project at a total cost not to exceed $496,620.70 at Kennedy King College. Purchase 5.01 requests the board's authority for the monthly electrical low voltage job order contractor construction projects to be performed by the listed contractors. Board report 33705 authorized the utilization of JOC as a construction delivery method to perform low voltage electrical improvements, maintenance, and repairs. This month's report lists three projects for a total cost not to exceed $442,477.63, all at Kennedy King College. Purchase 5.02 requests the board's authority to issue a purchase order to T&J Plumbing to provide all labor and materials necessary to replace the ejector pump and upgrade related electrical service at Harold Washington College for the period of December 10, 2020 through June 30, 2021 at a total cost not to exceed $36,577. The existing ejector pump, which services the basement plumbing fixtures and underground storm sewer, will be replaced for continued wastewater management.
Purchase 5.03 seeks approval for the issuance of purchase orders to Herf Jones LLC for graduation commencement products through a 3-year period to December 9th, 2023 at a total cost not to exceed $219,000. Herf Jones will provide regalia rental for faculty and board participation in commencement, student regalia rental with the option to purchase, and cords and stoles and graduation covers.
Purchase 5.04 is a request for board authorization to expand our current list of digital media providers in the fiscal year 2018 to 2021 advertising services advertising plan, namely with the additions of MBE firm Multi-Latino Marketing Group, who is an authorized provider of Simplify Ad Network services, MBE firm Hartman Publishing Group, publisher of Indigo Digital Magazine, and general market firm LinkedIn. The Marketing and Communications Department is seeking to expand its digital marketing reach and impact. The addition of new providers will enable CCC to expand digital advertising efforts with targeted campaigns across a larger collection of cross-channel digital options and platforms. The term remains unchanged, and we do not seek any additional budget authorization at this time beyond the original authorization of $3,950,000 spread over the 4 fiscal years.
Purchase 5.05 seeks approval for the issuance of purchase order to DP Associates for the purchase, delivery, and installation of a truck driver training simulator for the CDL program at Olive Harvey College at a total cost not to exceed $147,316. This simulator will aid the effectiveness of the CDL training program at OHC. The simulator will support the CDL curriculum by providing fundamental elements and ease of training and familiarity to the in-cab truck experience.
Thank you. General Counsel Gowan, item 6.00.
Thank you. Item 6.00 requests approval of legal fees totaling $230,567.66. Such legal fees cover higher ed, labor and employment, litigation, and corporate matters.
Thank you, Chair Massey. This concludes the presentation of board reports.
Thank you, trustees. We're ready for action on these items. You can unmute if you're muted. Does anyone have questions or comments on any of the items listed, just described, or would any trustee like to request separate actions on any of the items? Hearing or seeing none, may I have a motion to approve the minutes, resolutions, personnel report, resource development report, agreements, purchases, and the legal invoices contained in the consent agenda and identified as part of the printed agenda on a single roll call vote? May I have a motion?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
Okay. Good. Assistant Secretary, can you please call the roll?
Secretary Davis?
Approved.
Trustee Kent? Trustee Kent stepped away. Trustee Tillman?
Approved.
Trustee Williams?
Approved.
Student Trustee Thomas?
Approved.
And Chair Massey?
Approved. Okay, thank you all. Let the record show that the minutes, resolutions, personnel report, resource development report, agreements, purchases, and legal invoices included in the December 10th consent agenda have all been approved. So this concludes our substantive work this afternoon. However, and in accordance with the Illinois Open Meetings Act, the board may hold a closed session for the discussion of matters related to a number of specified topics. And today's closed session will be for the discussion of matters related to 2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body or legal counsel for the public body. 2C6, the setting of a price for sale or lease of property owned by the public body. And 2C16, self-evaluation, practices, procedures, or professional or ethics when meeting with a representative of a statewide association of which the public body is a member. May I have a motion to go into closed session with a roll call vote? A motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Assistant Secretary Kent.
Vice Chair Swanson?
Approved.
Secretary Davis?
Approved.
Trustee Tillman?
Approved.
Trustee Williams?
Approved.
Student Trustee Thomas?
Approved.
Chair Massey?
Approved. So let the record show that the motion has been approved. And for those of you viewing the live feed, it will remain active, although you will see a notice that the board is in closed session. We will return to formally adjourn today's meeting. For those of you who decide to depart, before we return today, thank you for joining us. And I would like to remind everyone that per our standard practice, the next regular board meeting will be on February 4th, 2021. And you can look to our website, www.ccc.edu, for information on our next meeting. So trustees, please now close out here and connect to the closed session. Thank you. Well, we might keep doing this. We don't have to get up and change rooms and find people. Okay. Everybody here?
You have quorum. But give me one. Oscar or Steve, could you please move Secretary Davis from attendee to panelist, please?
The December 10th, 2020 regular board meeting is now reconvened. There was no action taken during closed session that requires action in open session. We will provide updates on our website, www.ccc.edu, as they relate to our next meetings or any changes to our existing plans. Now, there being no further business to come before the board, may I have a motion to adjourn? Motion?
So move.
Second, all in favor?
Second.
Aye. Adjourned. All right. Enjoy your Christmas, guys.
Yes, happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Stay safe.
Take care.
Happy holidays.
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.